Hello and welcome to the Kanawha Valley Hustlers. This is Joe Justice and we are starting out February. And if you're anywhere around the Kanawha Valley, you know that January was a rough month. We had a record cold, they call it a polar vortex, freezing cold temperatures, single digits and some in below zero. And we also had lots of snow, and the snow just kind of hung around for a long time, which isn't super common around here. But I notice as I've been talking to some people that they've had the challenge of dealing with the weather and dealing with work around the weather and getting work done. And it brought up a really good thing that I would like to talk to you a little bit about today, and that is focusing on the things that you can control and not the things that are out of your control. And that what brings this up is weather is like the number one thing you can't control. There's nothing you can do about the weather. You can kind of plan around it, but if you're a roofing company and it's snowing, you're going to have a hard time getting work. Same thing with a lot of jobs that are outdoors, a lot of different things like that. I run into that all the time with video production. When there's bad weather, it all comes to a halt because almost everywhere I go, they're going to want exterior shots of the building, their offices, people outside, people doing things outside, events happening outside. So those things just kind of pile up and there's nothing you can really do about it. It kind of reminds me the whole idea of focusing on what you need to focus on. I had a guy I was working with, let's call him Roy. We were doing a lunch and learn. We were doing a series of lunch and learns kind of in his region. And we did this lunch and learn event and we invited a bunch of people to come to it. And he came up to me afterwards and I was talking to him about it, asked him how he thought everything went. And he said, "No, Joe, things didn't go too well. Everybody that came here, they're people that I already knew. These were all people that I was already familiar with." So I said, "Okay, so we want some new people." "Yeah, we need to get some new blood in here." "Okay, no problem, Roy." So I, jotted that down. And then 6 months later, we had another lunch and learn in that same area. So I focused our advertising and everything on attracting new people that they don't know, people that are not familiar with their brand. So then come the day of the event, everybody was new, or most of them were new. They didn't know anything about their company. So this was their opportunity to learn a little bit about the company. So I go up to Roy and I say, "Hey, Roy, so how did everything go? What'd you think of this?" He says, "Oh, you know what, Joe? I didn't know anybody. There's nothing I can do." So either way, he was focusing on what wasn't there. He was focusing on there's not people that I don't know here, or he was focusing on there's not people that I do know here. Either way, it's focusing on what's not there. And whenever you focus on what's not there, you're missing everything that is there. What is there and what is there? What do you have that's directly in your control in that moment? You could look at it as these are all new people and a great opportunity for me to introduce my company and my brand to people. Or you can look at it as, "Oh, there's nobody here I know and there's nothing I can do." So focus on the things that you can control and the things that you can do. Let me give you some things that you can control. You can control what time you wake up in the morning. You can control when you do things. You can control what kind of food that you eat. You can control things that have a direct impact on your activities, okay? You can't control if your car is going to break down or not, right? But you can maintain your car. You can go through regular maintenance schedules and you can make sure that you're taking proactive steps to make sure that your car is going to be available for you. You can't control whether or not you're going to have a terrible health outcome. You might get cancer, you might get the flu, you might get all these things, but you can control diet and exercise and make your body as healthy as possible. So what should you focus on? Should you focus on the chance that you might get cancer? Should you spend your time researching that kind of stuff? Or should you focus on wellness and health? One of the really important areas that this kind of thinking comes into mind is with BNI. I'm a member of a BNI chapter here in Charleston, West Virginia called the Power Chapter. And BNI stands for Business Networking International. And it's a group that focuses on, it's an international group that focuses on what's called referral marketing, where people get together and they make out, they meet regularly and they tell each other what kind of clients they're looking for and educate everybody to find clients for them and have good referral partners that they can work with. And BNI has a thing called the power of one. And it's basically a system that if you do these things every single week, then you will be successful, right? So that's a pretty big claim, but it's absolutely true. What's the four things? The four things are: you attend a meeting where you meet with everybody in your group. In this case, it would be the BNI chapter, but if you've got a mastermind group or whatever, it could work the same way. You meet with your group every week. These are people that you can talk to, that you can tell about your business and services, and that can find referral people for you. So number one is you attend a meeting every week. Number two is you spend at least an hour a week on continuing education. Hone your skills. Learn more about what the latest trends are, what you should be doing. Spend an hour doing that. And then you do at least one-to-one meeting. That's where you meet with somebody else in your chapter on a one-to-one basis and talk about how you can help each other improve your business. Now, they also have another one. The fourth one is to pass one referral. But here's the thing that you have to understand. Of those four things, three of those are 100% in your control. So think about that. In order to be successful with the power of one, now there are times that you're not going to run into a referral partner, or you won't run into a referral that you can give to somebody else in the chapter. That one's a little bit outside of your control, but all of these other things, attending meetings, doing continuing education, doing one-on-ones, those are 100% in your control. If you plan those out and you make time for them, you can make them happen. So what do you do when things go a little sideways? Things don't work out quite the way that you were planning on them to work out. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've got a sales call. You got a sales call, and it's a big, important sales call coming up at 10 o'clock. And, this is important to you. It really matters. And all of a sudden, you get a call 9:30 that morning. Their kid's sick, had to stay home from school. They got to reschedule the meeting. Now your whole morning's blown. There's nothing you do. Well, you could go back to bed and just waste the whole day, or you can take that time opportunity to focus on your other clients. You can take that time opportunity to get caught up on things. That time, you can see that as a gift. Missing out on that meeting, you can see as a gift to be able to accomplish some other things that you were planning to do, but you didn't have time to. You get caught up. If you miss out on a client, you try to do you do a sales call and the client, doesn't buy, or, says maybe in 6 months or something like that. Well, what can you do? You can focus on clients you already have. You already have a certain number of clients. Focus on those. Improve your service with them. Make them happy. Show up. Go above and beyond. I guarantee you that if you focus on your existing clients, that will grow into new clients and more clients if you focus on them and keep them top of mind, keep them happy, and turn them into evangelists for you and for your brand, for your company. So keep some of these things in mind when, the weather's bad out there, or when, you get thrown curveballs in other ways. Things happen. You are not in control of everything. As a matter of fact, you're in control of very little. But what you do control it 100%. Take ownership of it. Take advantage of it. And no matter what you do, always make sure that you're focusing 100% of your attention on the things that you have control over. Not anybody else, not the weather, not, praying to the gods, of the sky or whatever it is you do. Not that prayer doesn't matter. That's a completely different discussion. But focus on the things that you can control. And I think you'll find that the things that are out of your control, will improve over time. So remember, this is Joe Justice, the Kanawha Valley Hustler, reminding you to hustle hard, hustle smart, and hustle with a smile.